Hey guys, Sean here, Burroughs Motivation. Welcome to the channel. If this is your first time running into my channel, definitely go ahead and subscribe. If you like the video, hit like. And if you definitely have a comment that comes up as a result of this video, please do comment. And hit the notification bell because I do post either on a Tuesday or Wednesday of the week. And then I do a live stream on Facebook, Burroughs Motivation on Facebook. Once a week as well on Saturdays. So guys, there's a lot that I have on my heart right now. It's emotional, but it's frustrating. Business is going well. The insurance world is going well. There's a lot going on there, working with a lot of good agents, getting them started. But the stuff that's going on in our country, and I don't want this to come across as political because it's not. I'm not attacking any one specific individual, person, group of people, or anything. I'm attacking people as people. And I'm not really even attacking because that's not my modus operandi. My main focus is to get people to wake the heck up. In this world, there is you're going to have stupid people. You're going to have people that do stupid things. Yes, there's the numbers support certain different aspects of the viewpoint and support people's viewpoints, and that's fine. But it really, for me, it all boils down to how you as an individual portrays yourself, projects yourself. The energy that you put off is going to be the energy that you get back. Hands down. I mean, I can walk into multiple different situations, and I've been in some hairy, sticky situations where, like I stated on my live stream, where I was flat out livid, and my actions, the situation justified me being so, but it wasn't going to get me to my end goal. With the whole George Floyd situation, okay? I'm going to break it down. First, Sean, second opinion. You like it, you don't like it. You can unsubscribe. You don't have to subscribe, whatever. But my parents brought me up as you get what you get. If you put something out, you're going to get that back. The golden rule, do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. You don't be stupid to somebody. If you don't like somebody, stay the heck out of their way. Leave them alone, avoid them, ignore them, get out of their sight, get out of the way, and move on with your life. We as a people can't move on with our lives because we're stuck on some of the things that have happened in the past. And we stick on there are true injustices, 100% true injustices, and they need to be handled accordingly. Going out and looting and rioting and protesting, fine. Peaceful protesting, fine. Rioting and looting, not acceptable. Just not acceptable. I'm sorry. It's just, no. You can't, the only thing you can control are your attitude and your actions. And your attitude towards situations, like in the midst of my deepest, darkest situation, being homeless and stuff like that, I didn't blame that on anybody else. I didn't blame that on whomever, politicians. I didn't blame that on my parents. I didn't blame that on... I looked at it in me and I was like, okay, what am I supposed to learn from this situation? How do I fix it? How do I not create this again? How do I take from this, the good points and learn from the bad points? I was in a situation where I could have turned to drugs. I could have turned to violence. I could have turned to all those things that most people that find themselves in my situation would or could have done. And again, been justified in doing so. But if I want and expect better things, then I have to change my actions in order to get the results that I want. So I'm going to bring you back and tell you a little bit of a story. So most people will say, hey, Sean, well, you haven't experienced this and you haven't done that and you can handle it. Well, I can handle it because I've conditioned myself to handle it. Back in 2014, it may have been 2013, I moved back to Rochester, New York. And I was living there and I was working, and it was actually 2014. I was living there and I was heading home from work, and I was working in the pest control world, and I was working part-time at the airport, just making some extra money to meet my obligations, So I was doing what I needed to do. Was it easy? No. Did I expect somebody else to do it for me? Give me the money? No. Could I have, gotten whatever assistance? I probably could have, but that's not me. But anyways, so I was working, I was heading home from work, and it was like 1:00 in the morning. I was on the phone with a friend of mine just for the simple fact that I was trying to stay awake. And I lived in Webster, and the area that I lived in to get to the house the street was a hidden street. So you go up the hill and you have to make a sharp, as soon as you get to the top of the hill, before you even get to the top of the hill, you got to make your right turn. And again, being 1:00 in the morning, being kind of tired, just wanting to get home and get some sleep because I had to be up at 5:30 the next morning, or in the morning, just in a few hours, to go to my pest control job, and I made the turn. It was a short turn, so I almost passed the road. I made a short turn, didn't use my turn signal, got a little bit into the turn. Whoop, lights came on, flashing lights. I'm like, mother sucker, what the heck is going? So, I pulled over, and the cop comes up to the car, and he's like, now mind you, pause. Webster's a really nice area in Rochester. It's a really kind of well-to-do neighborhood. I was renting a room from a couple, and I was doing what I had to do in order to survive, move on, dealing with the situation. So the cop pulls up, and he's asking me, well, you made that turn without a turn signal. Yes, I did. I apologize, sir. There's nobody else on the road. It's 1:00 in the morning in Rochester. Nobody's in the road. And he asks, he's like, what are you doing up here? We've had some break-ins up here. He doesn't know me from Adam, and I don't know what the situations are, but I know that I've not done anything wrong besides make a turn without a turn signal. And I'm heading home. He asked me, where are you going? I'm going home. He's like, where do you live? Again, I'm renting a room from somebody. I don't really memorize the address. I told him 5 houses up on the right. You can follow me there if you want to, but I'm going home to go to bed. And at that moment, you have to be able to make a decision. Am I going to be stupid and indignant and push this guy's authority to then want to be and make an example of me? Or am I going to shut up and deal with this properly? And I chose to shut up and deal with it properly. I know from experience, you cannot win an argument or a fight with law enforcement on the side of the road. You will not get them to see your perspective because you're just not going to. There's certain ways, my mom and dad told me, there's certain ways to do things. There's certain ways to get your point across. And you have to think fast and you have to be decisive. And if you choose to be indignant and stupid, you have to ride it out. And then you know what? The thing about it is if you choose that road, you got to be willing to take whatever comes with it. Or you can do it the right way and keep a head about you, think, be decisive, and just ride it out. And that's what I chose to do. I let it go. And the guy was like, he was just grilling me with all these questions and stuff. And I'm like, I'm still in my, airport uniform. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, am I going to find anything on your record if I pull it? I was like, no, I'm pretty freaking clean. No big deal. Just run my stuff, man. And he's kind of being a jerk. And you know what? Kind of poking the bear. I'm like, nope, not going to go there. I'm just going to let it ride. And at the end of the day, that situation worked out fine because he came back to the car and the first words out of his mouth were not, hey, Mr. Burrows, sorry about the inconvenience. Hey, sorry, what's going on? His first words were, you have to understand things from my perspective. I turned to him and said, give me my damn license and let me go. Now, was I pushing the envelope back a little bit? Yeah, but He should have displayed a little bit of humility and say, hey, Mr. Burrows, I apologize about this. This is what's been going on, and then let me go. But, you have to no, I don't have to understand your perspective. I understand the fact that you saw me in a neighborhood, in an area that I shouldn't have been in according to his rules or his thought process. But because I chose to do the right thing and keep my head about me, I went home and slept that night. Next scenario. I'm out. This is when I was in the pest control world. So I went out to this East Ridge, whatever mall out there, and I don't even know. It's close to I-90. Anyways, really nice area. I was going to do service in a mall, and I do my normal routine, my normal walk in, introduce myself to the store clerk that's there. It was a clothing store. I'm not going to name out the clothing store because that doesn't matter. But I walked in, very professional. That's how I roll. I don't do stupid things. I don't do retarded things. I keep it clean, keep it classy, and keep it professional. So I walk in, I'm dressed in my uniform, got my hat on, doing my thing, rolling with my service bag. Hey, my name is Sean. I'm with XYZ company. I'm here to do your pest control service. Do you have any problems that I need to address right away? She's like, no, everything's good. I was like, all right, I'm going to go into the back. And I went to the back, checked the logbook, make sure nobody did anything or nothing was said. Went and did it all around the stock room, did my inspection, came out. Security guard standing there. I'm like, what the? Oh, hell no. Are you are you serious? And he comes to and starts questioning me. What are you doing here? Blah, blah, blah. What do you do? And he's pressuring me. And I'm like, dude, are you serious? I was like, I am here on a professional service call doing my job. Now we can take you in the back and show you the logbook, and I can show you where the last 6 months I've been here and I've been doing my job. And I check in with everybody the same exact way. He's like questioning us. You need to do this and you need to go here and I was like, no. My service is with this store. My service is not with the mall. I don't need to check in with information. I don't need to check in with security. I come in, do my service, get my signature, and I leave. Again, I keep things classy, professional, and clean. I don't mess around, and I went and did that. And he continued to grill me and try to tell me where I was wrong. Now, mind you, in this area in Rochester, there's not a ton of black people. But there's nothing about my demeanor. There's nothing about how I carry myself that would show as a threat in this situation. But again, to not get stupid results, I chose to do contrary of what my inner feeling was saying. I kept it clean, kept it professional, kept it classy. I stated my case. I did my thing. I got the heck out of Dodge. So with that situation, he continued. I collected my gear. I got my signature, left my copy, put it in the logbook, and I left. And the dude followed me out the mall. I'm like, you gotta be out of your flippin' frickin' tree. And at that point in time, I realized I needed to leave Rochester because twice in a 1 month period of time, I got profiled. I was livid. I was beyond livid. I was livid to the point where I was shaking. That's not the Rochester that I grew up with. That's not the area that I grew up in. I don't do stupid things to get me in stupid situations. That's not how I roll. But in order for me to get through what I have to do, I had to leave. Yes. And that's when I moved to California and everything went to hell in a handbasket. But from that situation, from these two situations is I kept my cool. I dealt with the situation. And if it were going to get more stupid, you take the numbers, you take information, and you run the proper chain in order to get the situation solved. So in those situations, in that situation with the mall, I would have taken the gentleman's name. I would have taken his information. I would have gone back to my boss and said, listen, this is the situation I'm having at this location. I need you guys to handle that. And they would have handled it. And when I've gone back in there for service again, I'd had no issues because I handled it properly. You cannot win by being stupid. You cannot. And of course, yes, there's racism that goes on in this world. It's not going to change. If I could have used it and said, oh, this guy's being racist, and I could have been all belligerent and stuff like that, but that wasn't going to, get my cause. It wasn't going to win the victory. You have to be able to ultimately see where you want to go. You know, I don't create situations that put me in compromising situations. Sometimes it just happens. But just because it just happens doesn't mean you have to just conform to the irateness of your body. If you can't control your emotions, you have zero control at all. You will always be controlled by somebody else because there's always going to be somebody who's going to push your buttons. If you always succumb to what is perceived an injustice to you with equal reaction to what you're getting, you're always going to be in the negative because people aren't going to see what was done to create the situation. While you're just and justified in your reaction, how you handle yourself, that you're 100% correct until you're 1% wrong, and then you're totally wrong. So you have to keep a level head. You got to be able to think through the process. You got to be able to think through the situation. If something happens with law enforcement that's not right, you go through the process. It sucks. It's inconvenient. It's unjust. Go through the process. Because your ultimate goal is to get home at the end of the day and be alive. Your ultimate goal is to go home to your family, to your friends, to your job, to your goals, to your dreams, to your vision. Accomplish those things that you need to accomplish. Right, wrong, indifferent? No. Talking to the specifics or like known specifics, which could be scuttlebutt. I don't know. But if I were to pass a counterfeit bill, and most people, if you go into a store, you pass a counterfeit bill, they come back and say, hey, this isn't real. You know, there's one of two things that's going to happen. They're going to let you know, hey, this isn't real. You know, sorry. Do you have another 20? Or do you have another this? You have another way you could pay. Okay, well, that doesn't reflect on you as a person. It's like, hey, you know what? Ooh, shoot, I got a counterfeit. That sucks. You know, just whip out a card or whip out something, or leave the store without the goods. Hey, I don't have anything else. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And you walk away. But if the situation is you pass off, something that's not right, or you find yourself in a situation that's not right, and you choose to get indignant and stupid, then you sort of lose control of the situation. Because in that situation with George Floyd, the cops were called. Did he have a right to be kind of upset? Yeah, we don't know what transpired in the store or anything like that. But the cops aren't just called just because. Am I blaming him for it? No. But I think that he could have handled the situation differently. Everybody could have handled the situation differently. Now hear me correctly, I am not saying what the cops did was right. It was 100% wrong. Again, you're right until that 1%, and then you're 100% wrong. Okay? So doing their job, showing up to the scene where a merchant was requesting police presence, maybe because of belligerent. Again, cops aren't called just because, the merchant would report the counterfeit bill. The counterfeit bill would then get destroyed or get picked up or whatever. There might be an investigation, something like that. Let it go. Let what happens. Nobody's going to, as long as you don't have a bunch of other ones in your possession, great. I'd have actually gone back to the bank or something like that and say, hey, I got some bad ones here, man. I was here XYZ days ago. I would have gone back to the exact bank and shown it and proved it and everything, I'm not going to be irate or, just belligerent. I'm like, hey, y'all got some bad bills. What the heck? I can't give you the bill back because they took it from me at this place. And this is the detective that's talking to me about it. And I would have gone through that whole scenario, because I like to keep things clean, classy, and professional. Not everybody can think that way. But if you don't think that way, you can't get mad about what's the results that you set in motion. You can act and be however you want in this world. But the minute you do, you cannot control the reactions of other people. That's the bad thing about it. This is both the positive and the negative of this country, is the fact that you can say and do anything that you want. I can get on Facebook, I can get on YouTube and make a video about absolute garbage. and it not be true and not be right. And you know what? I spoke my piece. But at the same time, I cannot control the barrage of crazy comments and negativity that I'm going to get as a result of it. If you want to get good feedback and good vibes, good things coming back to you, you got to put good out there. And if something bad happens to you, you don't flip the hell out. You freaking handle it. You deal with it one day at a time, one step at a time. You don't blame somebody else. You don't do this. You don't do that. Yes, there's going to be stupid people around us everywhere until the second coming. You can't control that. You can control your actions in your house and do the right things for the right reasons, and everything else will fall into place. If you want to be better, do better. If you want to do better, be better. That's the only way that you can control the outcome, is if you put out the right thing that you want coming back. That's the only way. My deepest sincere apologies and condolences to the George's family and what he endured through that. He should not have been killed for that. On the backside of that, the police officer initially, perfect storm, dumb situation, racist sensitive cops in that situation created more of it was an absolute shit show. Perfect storm. Absolute perfect storm. But none of this should have happened. Now, on the flip side, I know this video is running a little bit long, but like I said, I had a lot on my heart today. And now, going to get justice for this. Let the court systems take care of it. We can protest peacefully. Because the minute you start doing stupid things, you cannot control the reactions. And if that means the National Guards get called, the National Guard gets called. The National Guards get called because it is their duty to protect within the boundaries of this country and anywhere else that they get deployed to. They don't care if it's white, black, blue, brown. It does not matter. Their job is to protect, the community, the population as a whole. Now, if you are going to be on the opposite side of that, again, you get what you get. Sorry, my bad. But if you don't want to get that, don't put yourself in that position. I'm a big proponent of, listen, if I'm hanging out with a group of people and things are going good and we're having fun and then they start doing stupid stuff, Sean disappears. I get out of town. I start seeing things going away. I disappear. I don't want to be a part of it. You tell me about it later. I'll read the Facebook post about it later, but I'm not getting caught up in that crap. If you start seeing things going south, shut your mouth, get on out. Deal with the situation the proper way. There's always a proper way. It doesn't negate the fact that you're unjustly dealt with, or that it's not even negating the fact that you might be pissed to the highest level of pissivity. It just means that you need to identify the fact that you can't win in this situation at this very moment. And I'm going to do it right. I'm going to do it right. If I'm going to be the bigger person and I'm going to get my situation handled properly. And if you do it properly, even if you don't get the result that you want, you still have the pride within yourself and said, hey, you know what? I go home at night to my family. I'm not behind bars. I'm not doing anything stupid. But you know what? I feel like I need to write my congressman. I feel like I need to make a post. I feel like I need to vent and make my situation known. There's proper ways to do things. There's always a proper way to do things. And I think we, as a whole, as a community, as a world, as a nation, we need to be able to do a better job at that. We need to be able to express ourselves properly, get our point across. If you express them properly, people will listen. You don't have to be the most educated person in order to get your point across, but you have to go through the process properly. So with that being said, again, sorry for the longer video, but like I had a lot on my heart. There's still a lot more, but I gotta get back to work. Guys, make it a good day. If you want change, be the change you want to be now. If you want to do better, be better. If you want to be better, do better. Do the right things for the right reasons and everything else will fall into place. My name is Sean with Burroughs Motivation. Subscribe, like, share, and comment. Thanks.